of the BJP, I would not name somebody as a Nitin Gadkari because he usually gives reactions that are not very strong in nature. He doesn't react in an aggressive manner. But political leaders such as Smriti Irani and Piyush Goyal and other political leaders, I expect a strong reaction out of them, because if an investor has suffered a loss, then they are saying that okay, it's a private company and it's a foreign research agency who has given out a report. It's between the two parties, and the investors, have they lost that amount of money, or so many citizens have lost that amount of money? So this kind of a statement, I don't find it's very responsible, because even if one citizen, say for that matter one person, has suffered a very big loss, for that one individual, even that one vote counts. Even that person has voted for the government. So that one individual's loss makes a difference, and saying that that amount of people have not lost that amount of money, even if one person has lost, he has the right to ask questions. And if whenever a question is asked and question is put out at the institutions, you say, are you an anti-national? You're questioning SEBI, you're questioning an RBI, or you're questioning that why have the statements come out so late, or these are not enough, there should be more to it. So whenever a question is raised, you call it anti-national. I don't quite agree to it, because institutions are set up in the India to protect the Indians, and the Indian people, the human beings, are not set up to protect the institutions. To protect the institutions, it is the job of the government, and the government in power have to take responsibility and not put the blame on people who the country has rejected. And that is exactly why they are opposition. They are not in power. Non-BJP led states have invited Adani and given their business. So at that point of time, the center was aware that maybe something negative is going on, or something that's going on that then they are not quite sure about it. They could have avoided giving Adani Group businesses, and they would have said that okay, we have alerted, and in spite of our alert and warning, the opposition is inviting Adani and giving them businesses. We have nothing to do with the Adani Group, and we don't quite trust them. So investors, invest in the Adani Group at your own risk. No, but at this point of time, since things have gone wrong, such kind of a statement that you are also giving them businesses, that you cannot shy away from your responsibility because you are at power. My reaction video on Nirmala Sitharaman ji's interview with Times Navika Kumar ji. Views and opinions are my personal. I may use the term we along with I, yet I do not generalize it. To begin with, it read out the headlines. The finance minister lashed out at the opposition's hypocrisy. To me, this was very disappointing and shocking, because I was expecting something as the finance minister lashed out at the Adani Group. The finance minister lashed out at the losses that the people, the common innocent investors had to suffer because of the Adani Group. The finance minister lashed out at audacious statement issued by the Adani Group that it is a threat to India, because Adani is not India. India is much bigger, much greater. But no, instead this interview, to me, it was completely reduced to the opposition, to the political party and the political parties together, whom the people of India have rejected, and the chosen government is not ready to take the accountability and the responsibility, to leveling allegation against the opposition party by saying that non-BJP led states invited Adani, and if he is a chronic capitalist, then why did they give him businesses? So if you were aware that this person is not to be trusted, then did you alert that the opposition parties are going on inviting and giving this particular businessman businesses, and we have nothing to do with it? The coal mines, the port, and so many businesses, if that person is getting in such a short span of time, if he is making so much money, and if the government who is in power says that I am absolutely detaching myself from this businessman and whatever he has been doing, Congress, when Congress was in power, if the scams that have taken place in their tenure, if they completely detach and they say that no, we have nothing to do with the scams. Any current government, if this trend follows, the next government who will be at power will say that I have nothing to do. If the common man is suffering the scam that is taking place, I have nothing to do with it. A light statement on a very light, toned down tone, and that says that okay, I expect that regulatory board should sit and the government will probe into the matter. a SEBI and an RBI, they are respected institutions of the country, but the institutions are set up for the welfare of the country and the people of the country, where the people of the country are not set up for the welfare of these institutions. The welfare of these institutions is the responsibility of the government. If a common man who has suffered a loss, if raises a question, why is SEBI taking so time in coming up with a statement, why is RBI not reacting, or the statements that they are doing, that they are giving is not very enough for this loss that I have suffered, then the person cannot be called an anti-national. That, okay, are you raising a question at the institution of the country? So are you an anti-national? Putting out a question is not putting out an allegation. Every citizen has the right to questions, and every institution of the country is there for the welfare and the protection of his citizens. So if something goes wrong and the person is suffering, Mr. Piyush Goyal made statements such as that Adani is a private company, a research foreign agency issued a report, Hindenburg issued a report, so it's between them, and so much losses have the people suffered, so much losses. For that matter, just one person, let's say one person has suffered a loss, nobody, just one single person of India has suffered a big loss. Does that one vote does not count? It counts. So if that vote counts, then that person's loss, why doesn't it count? For that person, his entire saving he has lost. He has lost the trust on the institution because he has suffered a big loss, he had got a big jolt. So it's the government's responsibility to take the accountability and to give back that trust to the citizen that I am here, we are there to protect you, and I am not going to blame the people and the political party who you have rejected, who are out of power. I am in power. So how can we not ask questions to the current government? I expected strong reactions, because given the fact BJP political leaders, for that matter even Congress, when Nirmala Sitharamanji said about that pyar ki dukaan thing and all, I think that's the only thing I could agree to in that whole interview, because even Congress is no less when it comes to using mockery and heavy sarcasm. So it is going equally at both the sides when it comes to name calling, when it goes to selective reactions, and when it goes to using mockery. So anywhere where there is mockery, even if the leadership is doing it or the sports party spokesperson is doing it, any political party, everybody from the leadership, from every political member of the party is equally responsible for the sarcasm and the name calling that is being used. And when there is sarcasm and mockery, there is no love I can see that exists anywhere. Anyways, coming back to the point, it is not about opposition. Coming back to the point, it is about the government who is at power. If non-BJP led states were inviting Adani Group and giving them businesses, did you, being the center whom the people of India have trusted, we have voted you and trusted you, did you come out and say that, see, the businesses are being given to only one big businessman, is making so much amount of money in such a short span of time? Beware, be a little cautious while you're investing. We don't take the responsibility. No, you did not come out and say. Now you're saying the non-BJP led states were giving them businesses and if he is a chronic capital, and we do not do any sort of favoritism. How do you expect me as a normal common person to believe it when so many businesses are going to one person and he's making so much amount of money in such a short span of time? How is it that you have not looked into the matter, that what are the kind of practices? It should have been as if the finance minister has lashed out at the heinous practices such as using short selling and manipulative practices to mislead investors, but no, the lashing out was at the opposition. The interview to me was all about opposition. I would name Smriti Irani, Piyush Goyal and many such opposite leaders from the BJP, not a Nitin Gadkari, because Nitin Gadkari, if we have seen him, usually the way he reacts is quite toned down. His reaction doesn't have the kind of sarcasm, that kind of heavy sarcasm, below the belt sarcasm, compared to other leaders from all the political parties. There is a lot of sarcasm. So here in this case, why is this selective response coming? And if they say that nothing is happening, everything is okay, it's only, can Adani be looked as a next door proprietor company who has maybe done something wrong, or his shares has fallen out and it is between a foreign research company and Adani? Can this matter be taken so lightly, a matter that is being talked about globally? When I go, I travel abroad, if I have no talent, I have nothing with me except for the fact that I am an Indian. I have no education, nothing at all. I will be respected just because of the fact that I am an Indian. So I am encashing the name and brand of India. I have to live up to the name of India, at least by making sure that I don't do anything that brings an embarrassment to my country. That name, the brand, the name I am encashing, that being an Indian, at least this much responsibility every citizen has. So Adani is equally a citizen. Why didn't any person or minister, any ministerial level from the BJP, from the party worker to top politicians or even Modi ji for that matter, come and condemn this act? That if this, condemning in a way that they will look into the matter and coming out with strong emotions. Suppose I am facing a loss and I look up to a leader, I will expect the leader is reacting in an unbiased way. I should feel that, okay, he or she is facing the same sort of emotion that I am feeling because I have suffered a loss. Then it appears more genuine. Selective approach to me, Arnab Goswami from Republic TV, the way he said, the tone usually compared to his other stories, when he said that Adani said that India should not have said that it is a threat to India. Adani is not India. We are aware of the channel, the reactions when there is a kind of story and when the viewpoint doesn't match and the ideological difference is very clear and obvious. There is a sort of mockery, there is a sense of sarcasm, very heavy sarcasm, and very strong words are used to condemn a thing that they do not believe in. But the tone here, when they called out Adani, the tone was very polite and very sober, unlike their other stories. Selective approach, selective reaction. Even leaders like Smriti Irani, who is known for giving so many strong reactions, she should have come out and said, I condemn it, but there was no such statement. Even the finance minister, I expected that she will lash out that how dare Adani group associate him with India and give such a statement that it is a threat to India. But there was no such statement, and it was all about, even the concluded statement was that we need a robust opposition. How does it make a difference if the opposition is robust? Then they would be in power. They are not robust, which is exactly why they are not in power, and you are in power. If you do your work well, then the opposition as it is will not have nothing much to say, and even if they do, the people of country will not buy it. It is about the actions, it is about the measures that have been taken. And when an investor suffers a loss, if I have suffered a loss, I would expect somebody whom I am watching who is in power, that minister will feel the pain, and my pain will reflect in the word, my anger will reflect in the word of that minister, and he or she will also say that yes, I condemn this act, and this should not just be looked into, but we as government in power are responsible. Because if this trend that is being set when Congress was in power, the scams that took place under their tenure, if they say we have nothing to do with it, if the present government does the same thing and says that any scam that is happening, we are not accountable, we are not responsible, we are not aware of it, then any government that comes next in power will follow this trend, and only the people who will be at the receiving end will not be any political party or any specific political leader, but it will be the common man. But if everybody, to each its own, it is my personal view, this interview was very irresponsible, and especially the statement that we need a robust opposition at the time when the China thing is going on, at the time when there is so much of unemployment, there is so much of poverty, and especially a matter dealing with Adani Group that is being spoken globally. I am encashing the brand India, the name India, so I shoulder the responsibility that I will live up to the name of India, and I will not indulge in any practice, I will not do anything that I will bring shame to my country. At least we expected the ministers in power of the present government to say that this group of company has done something that has been talked about globally, and it has brought shame to our country, and we condemn this act. India is much bigger than any businessman. Then this would have been, I would have been satisfied satisfied with this kind of a reply. I would have expected this kind of unbiased reply. So, because if a common man suffers, if somebody responsible from my family, I will not react in the same way. And if some other family member, if some other family is responsible for the common person's loss, then I will react with a lot of aggression and with a lot of emotion. That it will be a selective approach. It means somewhere, to me, I don't find it genuine. I don't find it genuine even when Ravish Kumar ji was interviewed and asked that you don't speak in every subject, and he said that I cannot report about everything, whatever is going on each and every state. I found it very selective. Selective approach, may it be of any political party or any ideological belief you believe in. A subject needs to be addressed in an unbiased way. Only then the genuineness reflects. To each its own. If everybody finds nothing has happened, no big loss has happened, and Adani can be viewed as a normal, common, next door proprietor, because Mr. Piyush Goyal said that it's a private company and it's between a research agency abroad and a private company. Can we look at Adani Group as a next door proprietor and treat him like that? If it sounds genuine, if it sounds good, and if it sounds normal and all right, then I don't have anything to say. It's just that I don't agree to it, and for me, this interview was all about the opposition and did not address the crucial subjects that we were expecting on the Adani Group.